Today, I'm going to discuss a few obvious signs that a woman is promiscuous. But before I cover that, I want to first mention the dangers of promiscuity and why weeding out such women is essential. Every man must pay close attention to red flags. One thing I say all the time is that you are responsible for the quality of woman that you choose. You must take your relationships seriously. Why? Because ultimately, it is going to be the biggest source of joy or misery in your life. Your friends, your families, but more importantly, your romantic relationship. The woman you choose to commit yourself to, that you invest in, right? You give your resources, your time, your energy, your loyalty, your seed. When you invest all of that into a relationship, you want to make sure the woman you choose is investing the same things as well. So set aside your ego and your lust when you first meet a girl, when you start dating, and instead put your principles, your morals, and your standards first. Do not make a decision based on your temporary emotions and feelings, based on you projecting your own high interest or on limerence. As a man, you must make choices based on your rationale, on your logic. And you must carefully discern if this woman is a good match for you. And when it comes to promiscuity, you must pay close attention to detail. Because women that sleep around are not relationship material. And as the old saying goes, you cannot turn her into a housewife. Because sex is designed to bond a man and a woman together for life. So when a woman has slept around with a good number of men, she will lose her ability to pair bond. She cannot connect with you emotionally because the chemicals in her brain have already been rewired. Each connection she's had with a man that she's broken and gone to the next man, this changes the synaptic routing in her brain, in the neurons, right? The dopamine, all of the chemicals become imbalanced. In essence, her brain says, what's the point of forming another emotional connection when she keeps running around with different men? So guess what? She loses her ability to connect. And if a woman cannot connect with you emotionally, she won't be able to love you, grow close to you, and be faithful to you. And that is extremely important to understand. You must take this stuff very, very seriously. Promiscuity leaves behind serious consequences. I mean, look at today's society. Everywhere you look, movies, TV shows, music videos, what does it promote? Sleeping around, one-night stands, friends with benefits, infidelity. Young boys and girls see that and they become influenced. And it's no wonder we have teen pregnancies skyrocketing. We have kids growing up in broken homes, women having children out of wedlock. Look at the divorce rate climbing at such an alarming rate. If you're a man and you choose to get married in the West, there is a 70% chance that a woman will divorce you. And from the studies that have been done, it's not because women are evil or anything stupid and MGTOW crybaby like that. It is because promiscuous women are far more likely to divorce a man because they report high levels of instability, unhappiness and depression in a marriage because they've already lost their ability to pair bond. And a lot of men blindly marry the wrong woman, not knowing that she led a promiscuous past, not knowing that this woman has lost her ability to connect with him emotionally. And then you marry her, and once her needs aren't met, she's off to the next. So when you look at today's world, the problem we see is that we've taken sex, which used to be something sacred to our great-grandparents and our grandparents, relationships and marriage. And now it's flipped. We teach young boys and girls that sex is something recreational. It's no different than just playing a game of football or going fishing with your buddies. It's not. It's not meant to be enjoyed in the context of strangers. It's damaging when you do it that way. Because casual sex doesn't just increase the odds of STDs, but it can damage you emotionally, mentally, all right? Because it goes deeper than that. Sex is sacred. And when you have a society that teaches the opposite, that we're just animals and it's just something fun to do in the moment, then you have what we have today. You have infidelity climbing all the way up. And obviously the divorce rate. So guys, you want to avoid promiscuous women. It is, in my opinion, most likely the biggest red flag. Because everything I've mentioned right now, all of these reasons why relationships fail, it's not because a relationship's bad or a marriage is bad. It's because of the quality of woman you are getting involved with is bad. And most men choose poorly because they don't make the right choice. They think with their little head, oh, she's so beautiful, she's pretty, I'll marry her. Instead of going deeper and asking, does she have the same values as me? Is she feminine? Does she have self-respect? And then you wonder why you get involved with a woman that turns her back on you. And you don't understand why. And this happens to lots of men because most men and women are average. And they make terrible choices for their life. And this also happens in relationships, which is what we are seeing in today's society. So, if you are watching this video and you're a young man and you are considering your future, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you would like to be married, you would like to have children, you would like to build a family and a legacy, then you got to make sure you choose a good counterpart. That the woman that you choose to commit yourself to has integrity, has the same values you do, is going to follow your lead, is a girl that is not promiscuous. Because that right there is something that will never change. Don't feel bad for her, well, I want to fix her, I want to change her. No. Choose a woman that has kept her purity, that does value herself, because she will make a much better wife and mother to your future children. The choice is up to you. Now that I've made that very clear, let's get right into these obvious signs that I was mentioning at the beginning. So, the first indicator and sign that a woman is promiscuous, you can figure this out by asking her a very simple question. Tell me about your sexual past. Tell me about the different men you've slept with. And this is when you want to pay close attention to her reply, because she can give you multiple. Right? A good woman, when you ask her this question, will come right out and tell you the number of her sexual partners. Because if she's a genuine female, this is a great opportunity for her to show you that she's quality, that she's not promiscuous. She's going to be proud to tell you that she doesn't sleep around. You're going to typically hear that she's had 2, 3, 4 boyfriends, maybe something like that. And it is rare the older she gets. Well, it is true, there are some women that do remain virgin until they find a quality man. And she may tell you that. Obviously, if you're watching this and you're like 19, you're 20 years old, and you date a woman the same age as you, then yes, you've increased the odds of that woman having no sexual partners, which would be a good thing. But again, it still depends based on her value. Does she actually value that? Let her talk. Because a quality woman will tell you, listen, I've only had one boyfriend, or I've never slept around. I want to set myself for the right guy. I want to make sure that the guy I give myself to is the man I spend my life with. When you hear things like that, perfect. That is a very good indicator that she's not promiscuous. So that is one response you will hear. That's a green flag. However, pay attention to the other things this girl may say. So on the other hand, if she is promiscuous, she's going to be offended by you asking this question. And she may say something like, this is none of your business. That's very rude of you asking me that. Well, I don't feel like I need to answer this right now. I don't know you. I'll tell you another time. If a woman is telling you something like that and she's not being straightforward, it is because she is promiscuous. And she doesn't want to come right out and tell you the number because she knows you're going to disqualify her right there and then. Because all women know deep down, right, that smart men choose women that haven't had many sexual partners, because it says a lot about her value. Because women that are relationship material, girlfriend or wife material, don't give their bodies out like that. So a woman that is promiscuous, she's going to instinctively know why you're asking her this question. You want to make sure she's not one of those type of girls. So because of that, to protect herself, she's going to tell you that. It's none of your business. You don't need to know. But guess what? In doing so, she's already shown you what you need to know, that in fact she is promiscuous. She just doesn't want to tell you the truth. But there are still another few set of responses that she may give you. In some cases, she may give you a half-truth. She may say, well, I can't really remember, but I think it's like 4 guys. I think it's maybe 5 guys. If she's telling you maybe or I'm not sure, she's lying to you. It's probably double or triple, but she's lowering the number, right, to kind of soothe you. But that's a lie. Now, of course, there is the final option, to which there are some promiscuous girls, and I have documented this on a few of my monkey brushing videos where guys have got involved and the girls they've dated have come out and told them. Where some women have no shame and for some weird reason wear it as a badge of honor, but they will tell you, oh yeah, I've been with 50 guys, I've been with 20 guys, as if they're proud of it. In which that point, you can disqualify her right away. So that's very obvious, but the reason why this is a sign you want to look for by asking this question is because a lot of guys don't do it. Many men are so afraid to even show a woman that they got standards. As if you're upset that she's going to get mad with you. So what? Does your dignity, do your values not mean anything? Because if you can put your morals for sale, you don't have any. Guys, stand up for yourself. If you really want a relationship or a marriage and you want to disqualify women that are undesirable, you should have no fear in asking this question. Okay? So it's very simple. First date, second date, you sit down, you calmly ask her and let her talk. Pay attention to her response. If she gets offended, I don't want to tell you, it's none of your business. Or she tells you the number's extremely large, off you go, on to the next. You disqualified. But remember, the good girl, she will tell you, well, I've only slept around with a few boyfriends from my past. Okay, it's all about context. Good girls, if they have had sex in the past, they've only done it with men that they've trusted in a relationship. In other words, she only gives her body to a man when she has an emotional connection with him. But when a woman tells you, yeah, I've slept with all these different guys, then you know she hasn't had 20 boyfriends. She hasn't had 50 boyfriends. A lot of those were from casual sex. In other words, she just gave her body to a total stranger. In other words, if she doesn't value herself, neither should you. That's all you have to ask. So that is number 1. Okay? Now, the second way to determine if she's promiscuous, and this is a great one, because you don't even have to ask her any questions. You just got to observe. Her friends. The quality of a female's friends will tell you everything about her character. If her friends are promiscuous, make no mistake about it, because she's just like them. 1 Corinthians 15 verse 33 from the Bible states, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. Remember that. Women are emotional beings. Okay, they thrive in community, right? They are community animals. They are nurturing and caring for their families and friends. So when a girl comes from a good background and has traditional values, there's a little chance she's going to be promiscuous. Unless she starts to form friendships with bad quality women that lead her astray. I've seen this happen to many girls, and it's very, very sad. So a key indicator that is always going to give you truthful insight into her character is just by observing her friends. It says everything you need to know. So if you meet a girl and her friends are, hoes who sleep around, have one-night stands, and overall live a promiscuous lifestyle, and she tells you that, I'm not like that, or I'm not like that anymore. I love them the way they are, but don't worry. If she tells you anything like that, it's just time for you to walk away. Why? Actions speak louder than words, and even in friendships. So she's telling you that, but look at what she's doing. Look, guys, women form social ties with those that share the same interests, values, and lifestyle choices as they do. If she really disagreed with the lifestyle that her girlfriends were living, she wouldn't be friends with them. She'd cut them out of their life. At the very least, she'd try and change them. She'd talk to them. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Gemma, or whatever. You need to stop sleeping around, girl. It's really, no guy's going to take you. She would tell them, no guy's going to take you seriously. Stop living that way. But if she's not even doing that, what does that say? Because at the very least, a good girl is going to try a few times. And when she sees that her friend ain't going to change, she's going to cut her off. Because she does not want to be associated with a woman that is promiscuous. Because she knows it can tarnish her reputation. And men will not trust her if she is associated with such females. Okay, that is what I want you to understand. Okay, good women build bonds with honorable women instead. Okay, because when a lady has formed friendships with girls that are sluts, it's because she believes there is nothing wrong with the way they live. In fact, she supports their decisions. Do you understand that? And why does she support those lifestyles of her friends? Because she herself has the same outlook on life as her promiscuous friends. Even if she's promiscuous in the past, do you know why she still has those girls as friends? Because if things don't work out in your relationships, do you know who's going to come knocking on her door? Do you know who's going to talk in her ear? Hey girl, if you're unhappy, step out on your man. We'll cover your back. He doesn't need to know. That's what promiscuous friends do. They will lead her astray. I know it's sad, but it does happen. So you want to be very careful. If you meet a girl, simple question. Hey, tell me about your friends. Or as you start dating her, first few weeks, first few months, observe, her female friends. And maybe then a few times you ask a couple of questions about them. And let her talk, let her find out about. And, let her, tell you a little bit about them. And then see what you can find out. That's so important to understand. If she really felt disgusted by their lifestyle, she'd cut them off. But the reason why she's friends with them is because she thinks there's nothing wrong with that. And if she ever chose to go back to be promiscuous or be promiscuous, guess what? Her girlies aren't going to judge her. They're going to encourage her. They're going to support her. They're going to show her the way, right? They're going to give her a good playbook and a strategy on how to be just like them. Because she's not going to be judged by them. See, guys, you don't want to be deceived by that either. So this lets you know that her girlfriends are the types of females that will encourage her to sleep around and step out on you, right? So it's something you really want to pay close attention to. Because the reason why I'm telling you this is because there are some girls out there who live in a promiscuous way, and then they will attempt to settle down and find a good family man. So you want to protect yourself financially, mentally, and physically from such women. Okay? So if you come to find out that her friends live in a promiscuous manner, then you can be sure that this girl that you're dating has already destroyed her ability to pair bond. And she's just a wolf in sheep's clothing that's pretending on the outside to be a good girl. All right? Because a lot of girls that are promiscuous do that. They sleep around, they have their fun, then they kind of put that behind them, but they keep their friends in the background, right? They keep those girls in the background in case they want to go back to them. And then they find a good guy like you and they want to have a family. Well, she can't pair bond. So what are you doing getting involved? Choose a good woman that has traditional female friends that do not live that way. Okay? That's a woman you can have a family with. Because deep down, a girl like that knows that if you were to find out about all the sexual escapades and adventures she had with her female friends and such, that never in a million years would you take any steps to build a family with. Okay, so masculine men, we do not marry and we do not get involved with women who have been around the block. If you have integrity and morals, you will expect the girl that you're courting to be modest, chaste and pure. Okay, remember, modest, pure, feminine women, they only have friends, create friendships with other like-minded females, right? Whereas promiscuous girls congregate with other harlots. Just think about it this way. would you be proud if you found out like 10, 20 years from now, your future daughter was promiscuous? Of course not. It would be a stain on your honor. It's a dishonor to your family. You would be ashamed. Well, if that disgusts you, why would you marry a woman that lives that way? Promiscuous women live for selfish and vain motives. They don't make good wives or mothers. Okay, guys, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain. Don't be deceived, right? So that is the second indicator that she's promiscuous, right? Her friends are promiscuous and she's just like them too. But she's just trying to fly under the radar, okay? And lustful men, guys that lower their standards, dudes that are desperate, have scarcity in life, or she catches you when you're in a vulnerable position, that's when you're more likely to commit to one of these girls. So be very careful. Okay, so the third sign that she's promiscuous, she's willing to sleep with you right away. Now, why is this so dangerous? Because as a man, you may think, well, Christian, this is great. If she wants to have sex with me right away, that means she's into me. No. Guys, women have a womb. They are the ones with the womb. They are responsible if they get pregnant. That's on them. Women that are intelligent, that have integrity, understand that they are the weakest sex, that there are bad men out there that can take advantage of them physically, that could abuse them, that could potentially get her pregnant and leave her. And in order for her to lower the chances of that happening, what is she going to do to disqualify such men from her life? Well, not sleep with them right away. Because if the guy's horny and only wants to be intimate with her and pump and dump her, he's going to want to rush things physically. If she doesn't put out, he's just going to leave and find someone else. But if she keeps her purity and doesn't give herself to him, he leaves and she didn't waste herself with that guy. She didn't get involved. That is what smart women do. Women that value themselves and have self-respect are only going to sleep with a man once they've built an emotional attachment, once they feel safe and comfortable with you. That's when she will open up to you physically. So if you're a total stranger and she's willing to give herself to you right away, guys, that's not a woman that's into you. That's a woman that is promiscuous and she's done this enough times. Because if she's willing to sleep with you right away, that means she's willing to sleep with any guy right away. Okay, and where's the value in that? Again, what I mentioned earlier, good girls know that men that value themselves, men that have high standards, okay, are never going to commit to a girl that sleeps around. Because men like that, what do? We disqualify such girls because we know she's a harlot. She's not wife material. So a good girl that it truly wants to present herself as a girlfriend or wife material is actually going to be girlfriend or wife material by not sleeping around. That way she shows you, look, I'm not sleeping with you right away. That's proof that I don't sleep around with other guys either. I'm careful. But here's a little secret tip you can use. If she doesn't sleep with you right away and you think, wow, this is great. Okay, maybe she values herself. But she's, there's no attachment progressing. Her interest isn't raising. And she doesn't sit down and tell you, hey, Jimmy, I don't want to sleep with you right away. I want to wait till I can get to know you. If she doesn't mention that to you, if she's not open about this to you, then she's using you. Because there are girls that won't sleep with you and they'll still go on dates with you. They'll use you for free food. They'll spend time with you, but they won't put out anything after months and months of dating. Yeah, if she's doing that, 100% she's just using you, right? More than likely, she's just a gold digger. But if she has genuine integrity and interest in you, she will tell you. She may kiss you on a date, but she will tell you, listen, Jimmy, I like you, but I don't sleep around. And I want to make sure if I have sex with you that you're the right guy for me. So I want to wait a few weeks or after a few days to see if I can trust you. If she says that to you and then waits a little bit, perfect. That's a good sign. But if you ain't hearing that conversation out of her lips, that tells you everything you need to know. So on the flip side, remember, if she is willing to have sex with you right away, she wants to go back to your place on her first date, she ain't relationship material because she does that with other men. And why is this important to understand, guys? Because there's billions of women in the world. Any woman in the world can give you sex. So When does it become valuable? If she's a beautiful girl and you know other guys want her, but she has enough self-control to not give her body out, that's when it's more valuable. Because human beings, we only value something when we have to work for it, when we have to earn it. The same way you don't want to move a woman in right away or marry her right away. You want her to earn that position in your life, to show you that she's wife material. You're going to value her more when she shows you that she values herself. Common sense. So even if she sleeps with you right away, something inside you is going to feel off. You're going to realize, oh, she's just easy. I'm not saying she should be hard and take 6 months, but she will eventually give herself to you when she's built an emotional attachment. Then it's much more special. And that lets you know that this woman, she's got morals, she's got values, and that's a good thing to have. Because a lot of guys are deceived by that. They meet a girl, she's willing to sleep with you right away. You think you found a gem. You're wrong. Okay? She's one of those fake diamonds that in some pawn shop. Okay? It's not real. It's not a real diamond. Okay? So you really want to pay close attention to that. Okay? If a woman is serious about looking for a man that she can spend her life with and build a relationship with, she's going to be very selective. Okay, because if she gets pregnant by the wrong guy, that's on her. And she doesn't want to lose her worth or her value to the guy she actually does end up with. And if that guy is you, then she's going to want to make sure that you are that good match for her. So she's also going to be patient too, right? So whenever a woman is willing to rush things sexually and physically, that should raise some serious red flags. You're a stranger to her. She could come over on a first date. You could be a Ted Bundy. She doesn't know that. Why is she giving herself to you when she doesn't know you? The most intimate, most sacred act that requires trust and love, which is sex. She's going to give that to you when you're a stranger, when you barely know each other? Come on. That is what hoes do. Good women don't do that. Okay? You want to be very careful. The fourth sign that a woman is promiscuous. She enjoys sex outside of a relationship. I'm going to repeat that one more time. She enjoys sex outside of a relationship. Whether it's with you or she confesses that she's done it with other men. Good women will only ever sleep with a man, as I mentioned before, when they built an emotional attachment, which means she's only going to sleep with a guy that she's dating, that she's in a relationship with, or that she's in a marriage with. Because then she feels safe and protected, and she knows that she can rely on you, that you're going to stay with her, that you're not using her. But why is this such a problem? Because this is indicative that she's already promiscuous, that she can't pair bond. So she stops caring about relationships and valuing sex. She has reckless sex with strangers. She engages in one-night stands. She's had sex with male friends, right? She engages in friends with benefits relationships. She does those casual hookups. She will have sex with anyone that will be willing to give it to her. A woman like that is promiscuous. So if you meet a girl, she's a co-worker, you go on a dating app, and she tells you, I'm looking for something casual. I don't want anything serious, or, yeah, let's take things slow. But she's sleeping with you, and it's been 4 months, 5 months, and she hasn't brought up that she wants to be serious with you. She may be open and tells you that she's sleeping with other men as well. What does that tell you about her? She can't pair bond. Think about that. She is sleeping around with different men. Women like that are not relationship material. And if you're still on the fence watching this, and you're thinking to yourself, Christian, I'm not too sure. Whatever she did in high school or college, whatever men she got involved with, I'm going to look past that. It doesn't matter to me. She's changed. She's different now. Well, I'm going to explain to you why you're wrong. This is going to change your mind. This is why men of value will never commit to a promiscuous woman. Right? Pay close attention to what I'm about to say. And, on the other hand, if a man is aware of her promiscuity, and despite that goes ahead and marries her or commits to her, subconsciously it will always bother him. Let's break this down. The reason why this will always bother you is because a promiscuous woman cannot be entrusted with your seed. I'll repeat that one more time. A promiscuous woman cannot be entrusted with your seed. Guys, this all comes down to paternity. This is what a man values. You see, when a guy commits himself to a woman, he is undertaking the ultimate investment. He's putting everything on the line. His assets, his finances, his resources, his time, his energy, his love, his seed. So a wise man is going to make sure that the woman he commits himself to is going to be with him for genuine motives, that she is feminine, that she is faithful, that they will have a family together. She will stay by his side. One of the worst things for you to discover as a man is to wake up 7 years into your marriage only to find out that your son or your daughter is not yours, that you've been raising another man's kid the whole time, that your wife went out 7 years ago with her girlfriends drinking, right? And she had sex with some guy whose name she doesn't even recall. But then she went back to you guys got married, and she's played you like a fiddle for the past 7 years. That right there is soul crushing. Luckily, in today's day and age, we have paternity tests, right? Via DNA. Of course, if you're considering even getting a paternity test, there's a very high chance that you didn't marry the right woman. But let's take it back a notch. This is why it will always bother you subconsciously if you know she's slept around with different guys. Because on some level, you're going to wonder, what if I got her pregnant? Especially if you get back with a girl who's been unfaithful to you. What's going to happen? You're not going to trust that woman again. Ever. Do you think you're going to trust her with your seed as well? You go back in the day, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 500, 1,000 years ago. There is a reason why historically and culturally, men have placed an extreme importance on their wives being virgin. For this very reason. Because you go back all of those years, there was no way to determine the paternity. When a child is born, everybody knows who the mother is. But how could you determine who the father was? Well, there's only one way to do that. By guaranteeing that that girl had never slept with any man prior to her husband. Okay? That's why it was done that way. So it guarantees if you have children with her, you know you're the father and you can rest easy. That is why it is so important to understand. You will never trust a promiscuous woman with your seed. But on the other hand, if the girl you're dating tells you, hey, Jimmy, I've had 1 or 2 sexual partners, I've had a couple of boyfriends, and I want to make sure you're the right guy for me. Great, you can date her. You can trust her. But if she tells you, I love sleeping with different guys, or I've had many different adventures in my past, but I don't really want to talk about it, I wouldn't trust that woman. Because then you'd never know. Because if she enjoys that lifestyle, it's never going to change. A woman like that will eventually get bored of you because you're not giving her these highs and lows that she feels getting involved with total strangers. And she will want to do that again. So she will step out on you. And it's up to you as a man to protect your paternity, your seed. And what's the best way of doing that? By avoiding promiscuous women. When you sit down and you first meet a girl, you ask her these things. You watch out and you stay on the lookout for these things. You want to know as soon as possible, am I wasting my time or not? It's up to you, the quality of woman that you choose. And if some woman's going to get offended and say, well, you know what, this is disrespectful. A woman's sexual history doesn't matter. Oh, really? Because if I buy a pair of shoes and it's had 50 previous owners, economically, that's going to let me know that its value is going to be very low. Maybe a woman's going to say, well, you're comparing me to shoes? Yes, except the S is silent. Good women are going to be proud to tell you about their past. You know why? Because there's going to be nothing bad about it. There's not going to be strangers and casual sex. It's either going to be no one or, a few boyfriends she's had. It's pretty simple. So guys, it's up to you to take this stuff very seriously. Promiscuity is a deal breaker. Do not commit yourself to a woman who lives this way, because she will bring you down with her. She's not chaste, she's not pure, she does not deserve your commitment. Very, very simple. And that's the reason why. Because back in the day, that was the only way to determine if she was truly faithful to you, if those kids were yours. Because she would save herself for marriage. And that's why, it's more so men, we're the ones who value this more in a woman. Whereas girls typically don't really care too much. Right? Although, of course, there are women that it does bother them, which is also understandable. But that's why things are the way they are. So if you're looking for a relationship, guys, or you're planning or preparing for that, one day you want to have children, please consider this. Because there's nothing worse than being, in a commitment. And every day you wake up and, she's busy. She doesn't text you back. She's a bit distant today. And you're wondering, what's going on with her? Is there someone else? You want to never have to worry about that. Because if you are in a relationship and you feel like you can't trust her, you're with the wrong woman. Because love cannot exist without trust. It can't. You will never want to be passionate with her. You will never want to truly love her and give her your all. You will always keep her at an arm's length. Because you'll never really know if you can rely on her, if she's who she says she is. So when you meet a girl, properly give her a background check. You want to know these things. Your principles and your values must come first. Because your feelings and emotions don't matter. Because they are going to come and go. They're going to be up and down like the wind. It's your choice. It's your life. This video is here to help you. So guys, that's the topic for today. Keep this in the back of your mind when you're courting, when you're dating. And always be prepared to cut a woman off if she displays indications that she is promiscuous. Because it's so much easier to walk away at the beginning when you're a year in, 3 years in. Because then you want to see how your investment plays out, because you've already given time and years of your life. Don't do it. Be wise. It's great if you have values and you have integrity, but what about the woman you choose? Does she have that too? Because if the answer is no, your relationship or marriage will not end well. Okay, and I'm tired of watching these MGTOW videos and these crybaby guys just moaning and bitching, trying to come out with all this misery that all women are the same. They're not. You all just keep choosing the same low-quality trash women. You guys lead with your lust. You don't choose quality girls because you don't know where to look. You go to clubs and bars and venues and dating apps. You're not going to find good women there. Okay? Go to modest locations. Go to church. Go to family-oriented communities. Okay? How about you focus on being a better man? Put your lust aside. Put your integrity first. Stop running off with the first girl that wants to sleep with you. And instead, sit back and ask yourself, why is she rushing into that? Choose a better quality woman, for goodness sakes. It's really that simple. Because there's good ones out there and there's bad ones. There's feminine, traditional, honorable women, and there's promiscuous, feminist, damaged women, which are the ones you want to avoid. And when I do these videos, it's just to educate you. Because once you are aware of what is a red flag, of the things you should avoid, you cut out the middleman. You can get rid of all the women that are not relationship material and then focus on the ones that are. But again, that is your responsibility. Instead of complaining and crying that all women are the same, that's on you. If you keep dating the same type of woman, you're just doing the same thing. So look at yourself as well. What's attracting you to these broken women? Stop trying to fix them and save them. Increase your standards. Discipline yourself. Have self-control. Okay? Raise the bar for yourself. Okay? That's on you. So guys, that's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below your thoughts. If you would like to reach out to me privately, share your story, or book a coaching call, my email will be down in the description. If you're new to the channel, by all means subscribe. I post videos weekly. And if you would like to share my content, feel free to do so. Any friend, family member, or anyone you know who may benefit from my work, feel free to send them my way. So with that said, hope you all have a lovely day. I'll see you guys in the next one. I've got some great videos planned for later this week. All right? God bless all of you and your families.